You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey there, welcome to episode 298 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, July 5th, 2020.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human-Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
I'm your host, Sean.
And I'm Rabino Heat.
And you are excited to once again be on the podcast, are you not, sir?
Oh, super excited to be here. Don't know what I would be doing if I wasn't here. I was looking forward to this all friggin' weekend. Sunday, podcast day with brother. Oh yeah, here we are.
That's the enthusiasm that I love to hear.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, anytime.
So what's been going on? We just recently had Canada Day 153.
We did have a Canada Day.
Our neighbors to the south had Independence Day 2044.
That's right. I was.
244, not 2044.
Yeah, not 2044.
That's a different thing.
That's a different thing. I was half expecting the alien motherships to show up there at some point yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Independence Day.
I see what you did there. Cool reference from 1997.
Thank you.
That is excellent.
I'm on top of those 1997 references.
Do you have any more?
Lego my ego?
That might be from 97. Actually, Independence Day might be from 96.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
I'm not 100% on that, but it's somewhere in the latter half of the 1990s.
Exactly.
Okay.
Starring Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes. And Randy Quaid. You can't forget about Randy Quaid.
Oh, Randy Quaid. Can't forget about the Quaid.
No, that's right. That's right. So, we're at episode 298.
I can't believe it.
You know what else?
I can't believe it's not butter.
You know what else was 98 too? Carl Reiner when he died.
Oh, Carl Reiner.
How's that for a transition?
How is that for a transition?
Not a bad segue?
That's pretty good.
Yes, sir. So
you've been working on your segues.
I've been working on my segues. Yes.
It helps.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you
don't want to just jump from one thing to another. No, it's got to be a smooth.
And if there's one thing I'm known for, it's my smoothness.
Oh, yes. As I rub the top of your chrome dome right now, yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Yes, sir. Okay, so why don't I go ahead and read to you a little bit of the Carl Reiner article that I shared on the Facebook page this past week. Does that sound like a good plan?
That sounds like a fantastic plan.
I thought you might approve. Carl Reiner, comedy legend and Dick Van Dyke Show creator, dies at the age of 98. The writer, producer, director, and actor who was part of Sid Caesar's legendary team and went on to create The Dick Van Dyke Show and direct several hit films died this past week. He died of natural causes on Monday night at his home in Beverly Hills. And Reiner, the father of filmmaker and activist Rob Reiner, was the winner of 9 Emmy Awards, including 5 for The Dick Van Dyke Show. His most popular films as a director included Oh God, starring George Burns in 1977, The Jerk with Steve Martin in 1979, and All of Me with Martin and Lily Tomlin in 1984. There's a whole article. It's multiple paragraphs. I'm not going to read it all, but he lived a long time. He had a prolific life.
Very prolific.
He won a lot of awards, did a lot of things, was very good friends with Mel Brooks.
Yes.
And so what I thought we could do is maybe play a little game.
Oh.
What do you think about that?
I love playing games.
You do?
Yeah.
Good. So I've got his filmography, both as an actor and as a director.
Okay.
So we're going to play the game. Seen it, never seen it, heard of it, never heard of it.
Okay, well, to be fair, to be frank, if you will, and you can be Henry or Martha, whatever you want, but...
Why did you say that name?
a lot of his stuff came out well before I was ever on this planet. So
me too.
So you know.
I know. I know. Okay. So we'll just go with it.
Okay, we'll just go with it.
How about even if you've heard of it?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So in 1959, he played Bud in Happy Anniversary.
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
Me neither. Also in 1959, he played Harlow Edison in The Gazebo.
The Gazebo. That's my favorite film.
I knew it was. In 61, he played Russ Lawrence in Gidget Goes Hawaiian. You ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. In 1963, he played the German officer, the cad, and the cowboy in The Thrill of It All.
I've heard of The Thrill of It All.
I believe I have as well.
Don't think I've watched it.
I don't think so either. 1963, he played the tower controller at Rancho Caneo in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Can't say I've watched that one, but I've heard the expression "It's a mad, mad, mad world" many times over the years, so we'll just say yes.
Yeah, I've heard of it, not seen it. In 1965, he had a cameo appearance, uncredited, in John Goldfarb, Please Come Home.
Did you know? So did I.
I did. I knew that. In 1965, he played Rodin in The Art of Love.
Ooh.
Never heard of it. 1966, Alice of Wonderland in Paris. He played Anatoly. No, yes, maybe?
What's the movie?
Alice of Wonderland in Paris.
Well, I've heard of Alice in Wonderland, but not Alice in Paris, so...
Okay.
That one's...
All right. Also in 1966, he played the bald bookstore customer in Don't Worry, We'll Think of a Title. Got nothing?
Got nothing.
All right. In 1968, he played Walt Whitaker in The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Have you?
Yep.
Me too. In 67, he played the technical advisor in A Guide for the Married Man.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. In 69, he played Al Shifting in The Comic. Neither of us have heard about that. Also in 1969, he played Stan Herman in Generation. In 73, he played himself in Your Show of Shows. No? Nothing? Okay. In 1977, he played Dinah's Guest in Oh God.
Oh God, I haven't heard of it.
Now that I've seen because it starred George Burns.
Oh.
And I was a big fan of George Burns back in the day.
Oh, were you?
I was.
Okay.
He played Dr. James...
T. Kirk.
No, not quite. But that's a good guess. James Manette in The End in 1978.
Oh, In the End. Yeah, sure.
Okay, now Shirley, you've... I know, don't call you Shirley. But in 1979, he played Carl Reiner, the celebrity, in The Jerk.
The Jerk?
Yes. Starring Steve Martin.
Maybe I've seen it. Probably not.
No?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't joggle any memories.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a classic. In 1981, he played God in History of the World Part 1.
No, I can't say. No.
Okay. In 1982, he played Field Marshal von Kluck in Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Dead men don't wear plaid. Well, dead men also tell no tales, but...
That's true.
Yeah.
So, we've never seen any of these things.
Can't say that I have.
Okay.
Sorry, Carl Reiner. I haven't seen most of your work, but...
Yeah. It's never too late.
Yeah, it's true.
In 1987, he played the newsreel editor in The Mood.
Well, I was 1 year old at the time, so I don't think I was in the mood to watch it.
Probably not. How about in 1987 as well, Mr. Diradorian in Summer School?
I think I've heard of.
I must have watched Summer School.
Maybe, but...
I don't know. In 1990, he played Dr. Von Mobile in The Spirit of 76.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of The Spirit of 76.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, that's an airplane.
Okay. In 1993, he played... You're making me laugh. We're not being very respectful of the dead here.
Hey, you come in, you throw this at me. Hey, brother, we're doing Carl Reiner podcast today. Like I have any sort of knowledge on Carl Reiner and his hefty resume here from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and the 80s. Yeah.
Okay. All right. In 1993, he played Judge Ben Arugula in Fatal Instinct.
I've heard of that one.
Have you?
Yes.
You think he basically did?
I do, but I've heard of Fatal Instinct as
okay. He played Mickey in 1998 in Slums of Beverly Hills.
Slums, I can't say I've watched that one.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've watched it either. In 2000, he played P.G. bigger shot in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I know that one, and I think I watched it.
There you go. Good job.
Finally, hey, the chalk one up.
He played Saul Bloom in 2001 in Ocean's 11.
Oh, yes. He was in 3 of the Oceans movies, I do believe.
Actually, he was in 4.
Oh, he was in 4 of them.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I did watch a few of those, so...
Okay. In 2001 as well, he played the studio executive in The Majestic.
Oh, The Majestic. I've heard of it. Never watched it.
Saul Bloom again in 2004's Ocean 12.
Yeah.
He played Tion in 2006's The Blue Elephant.
Okay.
Never heard of?
Yeah.
No. Saul Bloom again in 2007's Ocean 13.
Recurring role.
Yes.
Yeah.
He played Donald Cummings in 2014's Dumbbells.
Dumbbells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never heard?
No.
Me neither. 2018, Saul Bloom again in Ocean's 8.
Oh, wow.
In 2018, he played Larry in Duck Duck Goose.
I know of Duck Duck Goose, the game.
And in 2019, he played Carl Rhinoceros in Toy Story 4.
Holy crap, I know that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Parts of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't think I've watched all of it, but I've seen parts of it.
Okay. So now we've got his directing work.
Oh my god, this is going to go on all day.
He doesn't do a lot. It's not the Carl Reiner podcast. It's just a few things here because we're going to fill up time because there's nothing else to talk about. 1966, Enter Laughing.
Oh, yes.
1969, The Comic. 1970, Where's Papa? 1977, Oh God! 1978, The One and Dirty. No, sorry, The One and Only. My glasses are dirty. 1979, The Jerk. 1982, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. 1983, The Man with Two Brains. 1984, All of Me. 85, Summer Rental. 87, Summer School. 89, Burt Rigby, You're a Fool. 1990, Sibling Rivalry. 1993, Fatal Instinct. And 1997, That Old Feeling. So that's an impressive career that this man had. What do you think about all that information that I just provided to you?
Well, it's informative.
Yeah.
He has quite the body of work.
He does.
That was very impressive.
Right.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're hugely saddened by his passing.
Yes.
And our condolences goes out to Rob and the rest of the family.
That is right.
Okay.
It's always sad to lose another big celebrity, so of course.
Dude was born in 1922.
He was.
So that's very good. That's impressive.
I have a quote here attributed to him.
You
which
do?
I think is pretty good.
Pretty poignant?
Yeah. It's his approach to writing comedy. So he says, you have to imagine yourself as not somebody very special, but somebody very ordinary. If you imagine yourself as somebody really normal, and if it makes you laugh, it's going to make everyone laugh. If you think of yourself as something very special, you'll end up a pedant and a bore.
Oh.
If you start thinking about what's funny, you won't be funny, actually. It's like walking. How do you walk? If you start thinking about it, you'll trip.
Smart man.
Smart man.
Yes,
Smart
sir.
man.
That's true. Well, that's been our celebrity death of the week. It's a longer than usual segment, but he had a longer than usual career, so he deserves it.
Hey gang, this is Paul McGoon, Stargate Atlantis.
Gary Jones, Stargate SG-1, old school.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beckett.
Walter Harriman, Gatekeeper.
We're here at Thunder Bay Comic Con having a great time, and we're with Rusty Robot Podcast. You guys rock.
Boo!
There was rumors going around that Lucasfilm was going to be erasing the most recent Star Wars sequel trilogy. They were going to try to erase it out of existence, make it its own partial canon just off to the side, and they were going to redo the last 3 movies. But now they're not.
Oh.
It was just a rumor.
That was just a rumor? Because I did read about that as well.
Something to do with Palpatine in the Hall of Mirrors, and that's how he survived the Death Star fall.
This whole last Star Wars saga wasn't very good to begin with, but I mean, it was okay.
It was all right. It was fine. You're not a big Star Wars fan, are you?
I'm not. No. See, I like Star Trek and I like Star Wars.
Yeah.
But Ninja Turtles and Marvel and DC are more my
forte.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the word you're looking for?
Well, no, that wasn't the word I was looking for, but
that's more in your wheelhouse.
Yes.
How about that?
More in my wheelhouse. I will watch the Star Wars, but I don't collect the things like other people do. I know people that are heavily into that, And that's good. That's good for them. I like it fine, but I've said this for years, I've never been one or the other, more da-da-da-da, whatever. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you're okay?
Oh, yeah.
You watched the new trilogy?
Yeah.
And you were fine? You don't care? You didn't get all up in arms?
No.
You didn't pick it apart like a nitpicker?
No, I didn't.
You just watched it?
I just watched it.
That was fine.
Just to watch it, and yeah.
And you were okay?
I was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it could have been better, but...
well, of course. Nothing beats the original trilogy.
No.
But they're not going to redo it.
No, it's fine.
At least not this week.
Well, good. You don't need to.
You don't need to mess with
perfection. You don't need to. Just move on and do something else.
Okay. How about we vote for Kanye West for president in 2020?
How about we don't?
Really?
Oh, let me off this planet.
Is that true?
That's supposedly, yeah. And he's got Elon Musk's support.
I saw that.
So, I don't know what that means, but good lord.
The rapper shared the news Saturday night, tweeting, "We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I am running for president of the United States."
You know, he should be running towards the challenge that I set out to him multiple years ago.
Yes, go on. Tell me about that.
Remind
our listeners.
I had it actually trending on Twitter at one point with the hashtag I challenge Kanye, because I was just tired of Kanye West's BS, and since the UFC was a big thing, I kept challenging Kanye West to fight me.
He never did answer.
He never did. He never answered. He never responded. So I'll take that as a win by default.
True enough.
So I won. Thank you.
Well, there you go. Good job.
Yep.
If he actually intends to run for president, West will face off against incumbent President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden, as well as Joe Jorgensen of the Libertarian Party. I don't know what that is. And Howie Hawkins of the Green Party. I would vote for Howie Hawkins because that's a cool friggin' name right there. What do you think? Howie Hawkins for president?
Howie Hawkins.
Howie Hawkins. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it up.
Let's do it up.
Okay. All right. So,
if we're going to have celebrities running for president in the United States, I think it's time we have celebrities running for Prime Minister of Canada.
Who would you suggest?
Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell for Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Stephen Amell, and you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. I'm hanging with Sean and Bridget right now. They're telling me all about podcasts and general geekery and fun times in Northern Ontario, so keep listening.
Maybe Alex Trebek.
Oh, he's going to die.
Yeah, that's okay. He could win first.
We'll have to do a celebrity death report on him soon.
I don't want to.
Me neither. That's not something I want to do.
Who else?
Alanis Morissette.
Alanis Morissette.
She could sing the national anthem, too. At her own
inauguration.
inauguration.
Yeah, she could.
There you go.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, he could do it. How about William Shatner?
William Shatner? Yeah.
He's like 87 or 88 or something, but he could do it.
He could do it.
He's still Canadian.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Chris Jericho.
Who's that?
Bret Hart.
More wrestlers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Canadian wrestlers.
All right.
Yeah.
How about one of those singers from the Northern Pikes?
What?
You don't know that song?
No.
She ain't pretty, she just looks that way.
Oh.
No, you don't know that song? You don't know that song?
Why don't you bring it up on Alexa for us?
Okay. Alexa, can you play She Ain't Pretty, She Just Looks That Way by the Northern Pikes?
I can't find She Ain't Pretty, She Just Looks That Way by the Northern Pikes.
No, she can't.
She can't.
She can't find it. So that's very sad news. But I do have Happy Birthday Canada, 153 facts about the True North Strong and Free. I'm not going to read it because our listeners don't care. But just looking through, we're not going to vote for Kanye.
No, we aren't.
If he does run, do you think he would get in?
I mean, I don't know. That's the problem with this whole situation.
The world is topsy-turvy and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
Yes. Oh, hey, did you know...
Just waiting for the aliens to come back and...
To wipe us out or to take us away?
Take us away.
Okay. Did you know that the ESO network just recently got a new podcast on the network?
No way!
Yes.
On the ESO network?
A new podcast.
A new podcast.
Hosted by two ladies.
Oh!
It's a nerd podcast hosted by girls, Robin.
My God.
It's called, But First, Let's Talk Nerdy.
Oh!
And we have an exclusive preview of their trailer, their promo for their podcast right here.
I'm Brittany Vitrino.
And I'm Martha Bartlett. We've been nerds since day one, and we love to talk.
And now we're your hosts of But First, Let's Talk Nerdy.
Come listen if you like anything from comics, anime, video games, sci-fi, and even history.
Just sit back, relax, even join us with a drink in hand, because we'll have one in ours too, and come talk nerdy with us every Tuesday.
We are now a proud member of the ESO network, and you can download wherever you like to listen.
See you next Tuesday.
And wasn't that amazing?
I'm blown away.
Aren't you blown away?
I am going to have to tune into that immediately.
Remember the name of that podcast?
Talk Nerdy.
But first, let's talk nerdy.
But first, let's talk nerdy.
Yes. So I suggest you go listen to that. Did you download the most recent episode, the first episode actually, of the Cosmic Pizza Podcast, hosted by me and Dan and Paul?
Absolutely, I downloaded it.
I knew you did, and you loved it. You listened to it.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I have it downloaded.
You've been saving it for later.
I've been saving it for later.
Okay, because I played it at the end of last week's episode.
You did, yes.
And it was actually last week's entire episode of Soul Forge. You know what the Soul Forge podcast is?
No, tell me.
That's the podcast that I host, sometimes with people, sometimes by myself, talking about life, the universe, and everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's also on the ESO network.
Wow.
Because everything you want to listen to, it's on the ESO network. What do you think about that? Are you delirious? Are you delirious?
I'm delirious.
What's the matter with you?
Well, there's a long list.
Where should we start?
1986.
The year you were born?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I watched a movie recently.
Oh, what? Tell me.
Well, it's called Replicas.
Oh, that's the one with Keanu Reeves.
Correct. It came out in 2018.
It did.
It never came to theaters, at least not around here. I don't think it did very well at the box office. I didn't get very good reviews, but I watched it.
Yeah.
And I mildly enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give some spoilers away on it.
Okay.
Okay. So Keanu Reeves is a scientist, and he's working in, I think it was Puerto Rico, near the Arecibo Array.
Okay.
Which was heavily featured in the 1997 film Contact with Jodie Foster. And so he's a scientist. He's working on transferring consciousness from dead soldiers into robots.
Whoa.
Yes. So at the start of the film, we see him do that, and the robot goes crazy.
Oh, no.
So he's going to lose funding because he's not showing progress. So he's going away for the weekend with his family. And there's a big car crash.
Oh,
and
crap.
He survives, but his wife and 3 kids die.
Ah, son of a gun.
Yes. So he calls for his coworker to bring some equipment so he can download their consciousness, their neural pathways from their brain, all their memories, into the computer cores. And then he thought, maybe I'll put them into robot bodies. But no, the place was also working on cloning animals.
Oh, crap.
And the assistant said, well, there's no reason why we can't clone humans. And he wasn't really on board, but he did it for Keanu. But the thing was, they only had enough pods for 3 of the 4 people. So he had to choose which of his kids was not going to survive.
Oh, that's rough.
Yes, so he chose the youngest one. And he erased all the memories out of the computer cores of the 3 other surviving consciousnesses. And so it took 17 days to grow the clones, and he finally figured out at the last moment that the reason the transference of the consciousness from flesh to something else wasn't working is because when it was going into the robot was looking for its body, and all it saw was the metal constructions. But he figured, aha, I know what I can do. I'll just transfer it into the human flesh, and it'll work. I won't have to worry about it because they're not robots, so it'll be fine. They're clones.
Interesting.
And it worked, but it didn't work 100%. It wasn't great.
Of course.
There was all kinds of things, and there was bad guys, and there was chases, and happy endings at the end. So, very convoluted film, pretty predictable, but I've been thinking about it a lot, and it hasn't left my mind.
Interesting.
Because I always wanted a robot body,
mm-hmm.
but you could just transfer your consciousness from one clone of yourself to another and live forever.
Yeah, that would be that would be something.
That would be something.
Now, speaking of cloning and people, you know what I did this weekend?
Did you clone somebody?
I cloned myself. No, I didn't. I actually watched The Sixth Day.
Oh, the old Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah.
I believe I watched it when it came out. I believe it was pretty crappy. Am I right?
I liked it.
Okay.
I watched it when it came out back in 2000.
Okay.
I had a little bit of an old school Netflix viewing party with myself on Friday.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because I caught up on my shows. I watched The 100 and got caught up on there. I watched the final episode of Space Force.
How was that?
It's
Was it?
It's campy. It's funny. It's out there.
Is it good?
It is good if you can. If you just want to tune out the world for a few minutes and just enjoy the. I don't know
what it is.
Yeah,
It won't win any awards for greatness.
No, I don't think so. But it's got its moments. It's got its charm, and if you like John Malkovich, he's the best part.
So it's a pleasing distraction.
Yes, I enjoyed John Malkovich very much, but all the other cast does a great job as well. So it's not. But yeah, it's hey,
it's fine.
It's fine.
And the 100.
And so anyway, well, hold on.
Oh, you got more stories?
More stories. So the way it ended, it certainly leaves it up in the air for season 2.
Of course.
And what the heck's going to happen? So
we just don't know.
And the 100, well, that's confusing if you don't know the story and you don't know the show and you haven't been following along. So
yeah, I pretty much tapped out after season 1.
Oh, well, you would have no idea what's happening. It's whack. So,
but you enjoyed it?
I enjoy it.
Is it over? Is it done?
No, I think I don't know if this is the last season. They're on season 7.
Huh.
So I was watching this week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after I finished those,
yeah,
I turned on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie.
From 1990?
From 1990, because it was on Netflix.
Classic.
And so I was like, you know what? What the heck? And I threw it on.
And
I watched it.
And does it hold up?
It does. It does hold up. Still good. Still fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think I liked about that movie so much?
Tell me.
Now that I'm looking back at it. It's because the movies back then, when they gave you a team or a character or something based from a comic, they didn't water it down for an hour with like origins and introductions and stuff like that. No, it just goes right into the action.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're watching it, you should know your material, right?
Correct.
So it doesn't drag. It's a good film throughout. Mm-hmm. Paced is good throughout the whole time. Still classic. Love the one-liners. Okay, so I watched Ninja Turtles and said, "Hey, that's right on." And then scrolling through Netflix the 6th day, and I was like, you know what? Always loved that movie.
And what's the premise on that again?
It's based in the near future,
mm-hmm.
and they find a way to clone humans.
Okay.
But basically, I forget how they do it, but they have little cards or whatever, and they have this big lab that's filled with bodies, and they basically just recreate people, and he got cloned somehow, and then he finds his clone with his family, and this and that, and they clone the dog, and da-da-da. And so he's basically, he sees his clone, but his clone doesn't see him, so now the people that are in charge are after him to wipe him out, and
of course.
Da-da-da, has Michael Rooker in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And who else? Why can't I remember his name?
I don't know.
Why
don't you look it up?
I'm going to.
That's a good idea. Michael Rooker. Merle from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm sure he's done other things as well. And I actually saw him live and in person walking the convention floor in 2014 when I went to Toronto Fan Expo.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. That's the same time I also saw Hulk Hogan riding up the escalator.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it also has Michael Rappaport.
Okay.
Rooker, Sarah Winter, Wendy Cruz. Terry Crews is also in it.
Oh, is that
Terry
right?
Crews. I couldn't remember his name. I don't know why. As if. Robert Duvall is also in it.
Ah.
Yeah. And let's see, anyone else that we may... No, that's about it.
Nobody else super famous?
Nobody else super famous. But another thing that I always liked about that movie was, now, you got to remember that this came out in 2000, right?
Yeah.
Now, also what came out in 2001, back then, was the XFL. And the XFL is featured in this movie.
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow.
And one of the players, he gets hit and gets his neck broken, and they're like, "Oh, he's dead." But no, he's fine, and they clone him to come back and play for his XFL team.
Huh.
And now, 20 years later, the XFL had started up again.
Correct.
But then the COVIDs took it out.
The COVIDs took everything out. Hey, what do you think about the news of Ben Affleck signing on for more Batman?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes, at least for the HBO Zack Snyder cut. I don't know about more stuff, but at least that.
Well, that's good.
And what do you think about Robert Pattinson and being Batman in Matt Reeves' new movie, The Batman? You like Pattinson?
No.
You like Sparkly Vampires?
No.
You know he's done a lot more than Sparkly Vampires.
I know he's done a lot more than that.
Apparently he's a really good actor.
Apparently.
Yes. But he'll never get out from underneath.
He'll never get out from being the sparkly vampire.
Edward
It's the
Cullen,
same thing with Harry Potter there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everyone knows him as Harry Potter.
But he's really Elijah Wood.
What?
Elijah Wood, Daniel Radcliffe,
yeah,
Mr. Frodo. It's all the same person.
It's all the same person, yeah. And I've watched Daniel Radcliffe in other things, and he's really good.
Yeah.
One of them was, what was it? It was like a Frankenstein movie?
Yeah.
Or something?
Okay.
No, Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? I don't remember. It was one of those, but he was really good in it. And I was actually surprised. I was like, oh, this Harry Potter little kid is a decent actor. Imagine that. But I couldn't ever get into Harry Potter. It was not my thing.
Me neither.
Didn't like it.
Whenever you look at him, you always think, you're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, you're a wizard, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's it. That's it. That's all he'll ever be.
That's all he'll ever be.
No matter what else he does, he'll always be Harry.
Exactly.
That's true. What else you got for me?
What else do I got for you?
Well, I got something for you, son.
Oh.
I got some exciting news. Do you like cartoons?
I love cartoons.
What's your favorite cartoon?
Biker Mice from Mars.
Okay. I thought it was Ninja Turtles.
It is, but not the new Ninja Turtles.
Not the new Ninja Turtles.
That's garbage. Hot, flaming garbage.
And when I say cartoons, it's not music in the vehicle. It's animated adventures and excitement. And premiering August 6th this summer, just like a month away, Star Trek Lower Decks is coming to the US and Canada.
Oh, boy.
We're going to have it on the former Space Channel, CTV Science Fiction, or whatever the heck they're calling it now. The bad news, of course, is that our international... Our international listeners, I don't know when they're getting it. So I'm sorry, Paul, and Dan, and Richard, and James, and Peter, and Mike, and all the rest. All you friendly international listeners who contribute to the podcast by tweeting or contributing or emailing, you're not going to get to have it on August 6th.
That sucks.
It's very sad.
It's very sad.
It's a very sad turn of events.
I'm sure it'll be there in a few months or whatever.
I hope so.
Yeah, now, I don't know about this Lower Deck Star Trek thing. Reading the premise of it, now, does it bother you? Does it bug you a little bit? As a Star Trek connoisseur as yourself.
Yeah, an aficionado.
Yeah, that too. Does it sully the good name of the Star Trek franchise to you? Do you feel that it does? But are you still going to watch it, or at least give the first episode a try? Are you going to watch the whole thing? Are you going to just maybe you're going to call up Bishop and say, "Listen, we got to watch a Star Trek cartoon." Like,
I'm going to watch the heck out of it.
You are.
I am.
All right.
And I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
Unlike regular co-host Josh, he gives it the 3-episode try, and apparently the 5-episode try when I force him. And if it's not what it is in his mind, he's not going to watch it. But me, I love Star Trek. I'm totally biased. I'm going to love it no matter what it is. They had a crappy cartoon in the 70s. They're going to have a cool cartoon in 2020. Is it going to be good? I don't know. They're also coming up with a Nickelodeon show eventually for younger kids. And I don't care if it's for preschoolers. I'll watch that too because it's Star Trek. That's where I stand on the thing.
All right.
So
All right.
I can't tell you if it's good or not. I just like it because it's the future. That's where I stand.
And there it is. All right.
What do you feel? What do you feel?
I feel like it could be terrible, but I don't know for sure, right? So
you don't know.
I don't know. See, we live in this world now where we take these franchises.
Yeah.
And you have a pretty good idea of what that franchise entails.
Right.
You have your series here, you have your series here, you have your series, you have your movies,
yeah,
and you have your other shows, and you have your little spin-off things, whatever, that's all well and great. then there's the oversaturation, which I feel like they're kind of doing right now. I'm not complaining.
Okay.
Like, especially with like the Marvel and the DC things and stuff, there's so much. And they keep throwing more. And it's like a buffet. And I can't keep it all down. It's just too much.
Oh boy.
But I try.
Yeah.
But maybe instead of trying to take it all down at once, you just gotta take a step back and go at your leisure.
That might be a good idea.
You can't just force it all at once, you know what I mean?
Well, I do know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
You can't force it all at once.
You can't force it all at once. You have to take it slowly.
That's right.
Okay. I don't know what we're talking about anymore, but I think this is a good place to probably end the podcast.
Probably.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, but before we do...
I'm
going to play the promo or the trailer for the ESO Patreon.
Did you know the ESO Network has a brand new Patreon? That's right, we're asking for your help and you could do it for as little as $1 a month. Don't fret, all your favorite shows will still be available for free as always, but you can get exclusive podcasts and more not heard anywhere else but on our Patreon. To sign up for the ESO Network Patreon's easy. All you have to do is go to esopodcast.com and click on the link. With your support of the ESO Network, it's you who will reap the rewards.
And there it is. If you like podcasts, if you want to support a network, go ahead and support the ESO Patreon and get access to all the things mentioned in that trailer. Also, you know what? If they want to support us, they can go to coffee.com/rustedsoul. Did you know that?
I did know that.
ko-fi.com/rustedsoul. And actually now would be the best time because I was just charged on my credit card for the yearly hosting fee.
Oh, no.
So, yes. So that's $150 that I'll never get back. But as long as our listeners are enjoying the podcast, that's what really matters. And in addition to supporting through the coffee account, they can also leave a 5-star review in the podcatcher of their choice.
That's right.
Yes, sir. All right, so thanks for coming by. Listeners, thanks for listening, thanks for sharing, thanks for supporting, thanks for doing all the things. Robin, thanks for coming by.
Oh, thanks for having me here.
You are a wonderful co-host. I don't know what I would do without you.
Oh, me neither. You'd be lost.
I would be lost without you.
Lost without me.
And listeners, I would be lost without you as well. So give yourselves all a pat on the back.
A little pat on the back.
And until next time, remember, do not just slay your demons, dissect them, and find out what they've been feeding on. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
Well, everything has changed for the better. Oh, you are a wonderful audience, and the show keeps rolling along. There's a couple of guys that are going to come on now that I just can't help and can't wait to get out there in front and see. You've seen them many times. Most of us here tonight are here to do comedy highlights of the last 10 years. Well, but the last 2,000 years belongs to Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman here is one of the phenomena of the world. He looks no older than Mr. Sean, and yet he is 2,000 years old. Is that true, sir?
Yes. You want to see my driver's license?
No. We have it authenticated. The Mayo Clinic has checked you out and said that you are 2,000. Sir, what has kept you alive for 2,000 years?
When I'll go in an airplane, if I'll go in an airplane, I'll never sit in the first two seats or the last two seats from an airplane.
You mean not sitting in the first two or the last two seats?
In the last two.
Has kept you alive? I don't understand that. Why has that kept you alive?
Because if the plane, unfortunately, should take a flop out from the sky, you're going to go down with it and break your foot. Right?
Yes, but if the plane, as you say, flops out of the sky, everybody in all the seats will break their feet. I mean, at least.
Yeah, let me amend that. Any seat is no good.
In other words, you're afraid to fly in an airplane.
On the nosy.
Yeah, I see, but why?
Because if the good Lord meant man to fly, he would have given him tickets, right?
Sir, I've always been interested in the origin of words. For instance, a simple word like cheese. Where did that come from?
Cheese is a lovely story, how we get the word cheese in our vernacular. In the year 28 there was an old farmer, and a gentleman came to his land and said, "I'm so thirsty, may I have a little dipper milk?" And he said, "Certainly, go over to the barrel." He not knowing that the barrel of milk had soured, see? So this poor beggar man came to the barrel and opened up from the top and looked in and looked down and went, "Cheese!"
That's the word now, kid.
That's how the word cheese came into being.
Very onomatopoetic.
Yes, and that's the truth.
Yes. Now we don't use that anymore.
No. Now we go in, we say to the grocer, "I'll have cheese." You don't go, "Cheese!" It's scared of grocer.
You notice what they're doing now? Very interesting. There's a custom that has come down through the ages. Where did it start? People applauding when they like something.
This is not.
Did people always do that in the old days?
It's very sophisticated. This little.
What did you do in a caveman?
When we were excited, we did something primitive and natural. I mean, when we were exposed to our wonderment, we really reacted. I mean, it was a.
But not like this.
No, not like that.
Well, how did you react?
Did you do something? You do something, and I'll show you the old-fashioned applause. You sing a little song, and I'll show you how when we like something, we really went for it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. You sing a little song, a high note.
I'll give you a high note.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Did you see
what did you
the
do?
Natural reaction.
Oh, people actually hit themselves in the face.
Boy. Wow.
That hurts, though.
Yeah, you bet it hurts now.
But people applaud.
Right, and listen, it was a dangerous thing. We could not continue to react to wonderments like that, because when we had a big star, like Sammy Davis Sr. would come and play the cave.
Way back there, yes.
Not Junior, the old one.
Yes.
We would hurt ourselves when he was terrific. So Murray, the wise one.
Yes.
Murray, was he smart?
What did he do?
Murray was smart. Murray said, "Folks, pull your faces out of the applause. Pull your faces out."
How did he
said,
do
"What
that?
do you mean?"
Could you
He
give us
went,
an example?
"Terrific and terrific." And face out of the applause, see?
That's fascinating.
That's how Murray did
Well,
it.
thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
You don't want them to
Wonderful
applaud
entertainment.
by doing that.
No, don't hurt your faces, folks. Just a simple little clapping will suffice. Thank you.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.